Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. It is 2026, and yes, I haven't been making videos for a while for a variety of reasons. Number one, the weather's really prevented us from doing any driving in these kind of cool cars. I've been using this one just as a daily driver. Not to mention that it's been the holidays, and I've also had other priorities. I've been on a massive health binge at the moment, so I'm doing a lot of work, and this car, and this one, well, they just had no focus, and neither's this garage. Have really done absolutely nothing. So what I thought I'd do is jump on the bandwagon and talk about what was 2025 like for this car, and this car, and of course, the garage. So here we go. Let's go through what happened in 2025 for my 6-speed manual twin turbo Toyota Supra. Let's get into this. Now, when it comes to 2025, well, it was a bad year for this car. It was a really bad year for this car. Unfortunately, during pretty much the entire year, this car has not been driven. It's been off the road almost the entirety of the time. It has been used. We have moved around. We have started it, but unfortunately, a lot of that was in the early start of the year. In the second half of the year, there's a whole lot of problems with this car. Let me try and go through a few of them because god damn is this thing a basket case. So the most pressing problem with this car right now is the electrical system. We have a bit of a problem. Now, we're assuming it is the starter motor. Now, the starter motor is original. They do fail. We're kind of banking on it being the problem. And so the plan is to get this car back in the garage here. Once it's in the garage, we're going to try and rip out the starter motor, see if that's the short, and fingers crossed, we'll be able to get this thing started again, because that brings us to problem number 2. And this is a really stupid, hilarious problem, but this thing is stuck there. Quite literally, we're having a problem moving this damn thing from this position, because to do it by hand is a nightmare. It's too bedded into the ground. It was never supposed to be out there. There's not supposed to be a car out in that spot. That was sort of an emergency shift. We shoved it out there in an emergency and never really worried about trying to get it back in. Well, now we are, and we can't. So problem number 2 is just simply moving this thing inside here. I know what you're thinking. It's just, well, tow it in. What are you waiting for? Well, there's a problem. You see, unfortunately, this body kit here, it's blocked up the front towing eye. So now I've got to rip the front bumper off. You might think, well, that's not that big a deal. Well, it kind of is, because I may never get the thing back on it again, which means a whole new front bumper. Now, the chances are we were going to do that anyway, but it's just problem after problem. So just to get this car in the garage, I'm going to have to rip it apart to get to the towing point so that we can drag it in, and fingers crossed, it is the starter motor. And those are just the first 2 problems with this car. Because the next problem with this car, once that's sorted, we still are at another massive problem. And that is that the suspension on this car, well, it's not in a good way. We know that the front right and the rear left both have ball joint issues. In other words, I've got to change the front suspension and the rear suspension. Now, in a previous video, I did start on that, and I actually did change. This front right suspension is running race suspension in there right now. And I'm very happy with it, apart from the fact that the alignment is shot to hell. In order to get it aligned, I have to get it out. To get it out, I have to take pieces apart. And of course, you generally need it running. So this thing's just working against me, conspiring against me in every way. Now, the plan with this car is, well, it's very straightforward. Get it running. That's number 1. Let's get this thing inside, get it running. Once it's running, we can then start thinking about the suspension. Once we've done the suspension, then we can get the thing actually restored. Right now, we are so far off. It's not a case of 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It's 2 steps back, 1 step forward with this thing at the moment. And it's not good. We really need to jump on this. It's becoming more of a priority as the days go by, but there is an issue with that. You see, the value of this thing it's starting to change. At the start of last year, the original plan was to get this thing restored. That's back when it was all working. We were going to get it restored. We were going to think about even raffling it off, you know, one of the online auction sites or something similar to that. But there is one thing that's really changed, and I did speak about it in a previous video. The values of these are now starting to surge, so much so that I have actually reached out to a few experts in the industry. They're not necessarily super experts, so they don't really know. But the consensus between all of them and the Supra people that I've spoken to is that, well, now's not a time to sell. A lot of them are saying these cars are really beginning to show every sign that they are about to rocket straight up in price. And even in this condition now, I have been offered some ridiculous money. Now, it's more than the DB9 is worth, but it's still not the time to sell. It's really looking like these are beginning to make their run. And I've always said for a very long time, it seems to me that it's crazy that a Toyota Supra twin-turbo 6-speed manual isn't worth the same as its Nissan GTR counterparts. Now, not the new GTR, I'm talking about the old R34 style. This is sort of that era of car, and it really should be worth double what it is right now. And I think we're finally starting to see the real indications that it is genuinely starting to do that. We've seen lots of recent sales in America, Australia, the UK, everywhere that are showing these things are really ready to just spring up. So I'm going to take my time. We're not going to rush on this anymore. We're not going to push on this. We're not going to create more problems. We're going to take our time. And if we need to, we'll now actually consider putting more money into this. Before, we really didn't want to spend much money on this. We really felt that, you know, if we dumped 10,000 into this, we'd never see it back. It'd just sort of go into a void, the car would disappear, and that would be it. But now that's no longer the case. Putting quite a bit of money into this might actually see some good returns, but we're going to have to actually wait now, see what the market does. So we're not rushing to get this car sorted. We are going to rush to get it going so that we can begin that process, but we're a long way off. For now, this car is locked where it is. It is undercover. We do actually seal it up all around. I've opened it up so that we can get some light in on it, but it is generally well protected. It doesn't have any real signs of rust. The car's in very good condition. It's very well under sealed. Everything's good about this car once we get it moving. Now, moving on to the Mercedes. Now, I'll be brutally honest, I have no idea what this car went through in 2025. Well, I do in paperwork because we didn't own it for most of 2025. This was an acquisition around October of last year, so we really didn't do much with it at that time. It has been a daily driver. It really hasn't missed any beats. This thing has been absolutely fantastic, and we really can't tell you much about it other than that's it. What I can tell you, however, is the plans for it because, well, a lot's changed with this car. We did not expect it to really stand out as much as it has, and we think it's time this car got a little bit of love in its life that it never really got. Well, let me try and explain a bit more. So what we thought was, well, what can we do to make this car really stand out a bit more, really give it some punch? And we came up with one idea, and it's from Mercedes themselves. And one of the things they do is they make a livery pack. Yes, a decal pack, an actual sticker set from Mercedes for the bigger brother versions of this car. But of course, this car is virtually the same apart from the engine and drivetrain. Visually, it's very, very similar. You can put that decal set on this, and that's what we're going to do. Now, we did originally go to Mercedes and say, how much for this livery kit? And Mercedes promptly gave us back a 3-figure sum, and we weren't happy about that. So we've gone and looked at alternatives, and yes, and what we found is third-party decal suppliers that will supply us the entire kit. Yes, I know a lot of people aren't going to like it, but we do. We think it's fantastic, and we're going to do it. So this car is going to get a livery put on it. Don't want to give away too much. You're probably already figuring it out because it is OEM Mercedes, albeit through third parties, but we're going to make this car look absolutely mental. So stand by, wait, watch as we go through and do it for this car. Okay, now we jump into the big gun. the Masterclass, the Aston Martin DB9. What happened with this car in 2025? Well, I can actually tell you because I know exactly what happened with this car in 2025. Nothing, and more nothing, and then I bought it at the end of the year. This car has sat essentially unused almost its entire life. Now, last year was the biggest usage of this car, not by me, but the previous owner put 1,500 miles on it. And that was a really good sign for me. The fact that it could be pulled out of storage and used for 1,500 miles without missing a beat, without having any problems. This thing just ran for the previous owner for last year brilliantly. And I only used it little bits and pieces. For the most part, this car has done nothing its entire life. It's very low mileage. But the simple fact is 2025 was probably a very good and very bad year for this car because it wasn't being used for purpose, but it was being stored away in preparation for me to take it over. So again, I can't tell you much what happened with this car in 2025 because not much happened, but I can tell you the plans for it. So now, instead of just telling you the plans for this car, I thought I'd actually show you because, well, we've got a good chunk of it right here. Yes, you're not seeing things. That's a front splitter and those are side skirts. And in this box here, well, yeah, we got 3 different colors of wraps between those 2 boxes there. There is quite a livery to go on this car. It is not going to be black. It's not even going to be remotely close to black when it's done. And of course, we've got the new battery there, which has got to go in. Long story, you can watch that in another video when I'm changing it. And the insane process you got to go through once you change a battery on an Aston Martin DB9. For now, if you are an Aston Martin fan, you are going to hate me because, yeah, that's a very unconventional color for an Aston Martin. And when I put on the extra colors, because there's going to be probably 3 or 4 colors to this thing, yeah, you're really going to flip out if you're an Aston Martin fan, if you're an Aston Martin fan who likes discretion. This car is not going to be discreet. This car is going to scream at you visually. It's going to be one hell of a sight. It's going to be what this car deserves. This car deserves to be a very, very loud car. Visually, it needs to really stand out. Right now, it's bland, it's boring, so we're going to fix that with all of this stuff. And this is not finished, by the way. These front splitters and these side skirts, yeah, we're going to tweak them up a little bit. They're not going to look like that. When they're on this car is going to be something extraordinary. And we're going to be doing a few different color options on this. Down the side, there might be more than one base color, but you'll have to wait and see for that. Upcoming videos are going to show me doing all this. The battery change I'll explain in an upcoming video. That's a necessity, almost a repair if you like. We have to do that. The rest of it, yeah, it's going to change it substantially. We've done a little bit inside already, which I'll show you later on. And this car is going to be crazy. Not to mention that under here, well, we're going to make some significant changes again. Most of this, it may not look the way you see it now. This is, for me, kind of dull. It's a little bit boring. And when you're anywhere, you're at shows or anywhere and the bonnet's up, you want it to scream. And I'm going to make this thing look nuts. So wait, watch and see, because every square inch of this car, well, almost every square inch of this car is going to get changed. And that is what we're going to do. And if you think it's yellow, it's not yellow. You'll have to wait, watch and see. We're going to be doing some crazy colors on this car. I'll leave it at that. You can guess what we're going to do. It's going to be nuts. Wait, watch and see. Let's talk about the last thing for 2025, the garage. Now, in 2025, this garage, well, at the beginning of the year, it didn't look anything like this. In fact, it was horrible. This garage had a big central pillar down it. It wasn't easy to get in and out of. In fact, it would not have been wide enough for the Aston, and the Stinger only just fitted in. This was a horrible place to be putting cars. So we knocked out the front pillar. And whilst we were there, we decided to put in this rear garage as well so that we could take the Supra or other cars through there. Now, they weren't supposed to be left out there. The idea is that we're actually going to have a track running around to the side so that you can drive cars right around, but we just haven't got up to that. And the Supra is blocking it for reasons you've just seen. So the rear garage door went in, it's working brilliantly, but we're all blocked up with Supra at the moment. The front double garage, well, that's just a godsend. The old ones were the old handheld type. There were two separate garage fronts. You lifted them up by hand. They were rickety, rackety crap. They had to go. We literally put them in the bin. We got this big, new, outstanding double garage come in, and it just looks amazing. Was it expensive? Yeah, it was kind of expensive. Yeah, we spent a lot of money on these two. This is also a very high quality garage. We've got free servicing and other features that come with it. Front and rear, they're actually insulated. It's a brilliant garage door, but we're nowhere near finished with this garage yet. There is so much more to do with the garage, not to mention the roof. Well, that's an absolute disaster. It's a million times better than it was, but that was absolutely caked in crap thanks to all the woods that are around this area because we live in a country area. Now, the garage has still got a long way to go. You can see on this side, we actually did start. We put up the frame and we put up 4 doors. They actually open and expand out. Really cool, work absolutely fantastic. Very happy with them. Haven't finished. I've got to do this door here and we're going to do it all on this side. So this entire side, well, all the way along here needs to mirror what we've done here over there. So the whole room will look just like it's got a set of doors on here. And then we also might put some, a little bit of livery on there, a few manufacturer's stickers, that sort of thing. It'll look really tasteful and cool. We've also got to do lighting because we haven't done anything with the lighting in here. So we've got to fix that. We've been playing with the idea of actually painting the whole roof, but my God, is that turning out to be such a difficult proposition. It's not funny. So we're probably going to board this up. Also, just for heat purposes, unfortunately, we have a problem bringing wet cars in here. And when you bring a wet car into a garage like this, especially in winter in the UK, you just can't get it out. So we've got a pretty heavy duty dehumidifier there we've been running over the course of the winter to try and keep the water out of here because it's just nuts. You go for a drive, car gets wet, you put it in, and straight away, it doesn't go anywhere. It just sits there. It'll sit there for a week and not evaporate out. So the plans are probably to board the top up. It'll make it a lot easier for us to actually deal with dehumidification of this garage. Not to mention the floor. So as you know, we did these racing stripes down on both sides of the garage and they look absolutely brilliant. Still very, very happy with them. They're phenomenal. They have worn a little bit and they've gotten dirty to living hell. It needs a massive clean along a lot of this stuff. So that's another job to do during the winter and the recent months. Just haven't been focused on it, but it's another task. So this garage, yeah, tons more work to do. This year's lining up to do it. 2025 saw it go from a horrible junk-filled box to this. 2025 was very good for this garage and overall very good for us. We got the Aston Martin DB9. We got the Mercedes C-Class Coupe, which is so much better than we thought. And well, the only downside is unfortunately the Supra, which is, it's taken a bit of a bath and it's never come out. So it stays back there. We've got to sort things out. We've got a lot lined up for it, as you know, but for now, that's where it's at. So that was 2025 for this whole garage. This is where 2026 is all at. This I need to get onto fast. There is so much stuff coming up that I need to take this car to, and I don't want to take it like this. This is boring. This is dull. I want this on the car, and in order to get all that on there, there's still a lot of work to go. It's not as easy as you think, and you're going to see that in upcoming videos. And you'll also get to see all the Aston Martin traditionalists rain hate from hell upon me for what I'm going to do to this thing, because they ain't going to like it. Although I will say this, in some ways, what I'm doing is going to protect it. That front splitter, not so bad. It's actually going to protect the front end from bashes. Yeah, I know I'm reaching, but also the wrap is. Now, this is an extra special thick wrap. It's not as good as PPF, but you know, it's better than nothing, and it will also help protect some of the paint on this car. Not to mention the side skirts, well, also have the similar sort of effect, and they'll just make the thing look absolutely phenomenal. So wait, watch, 2026 is going to be a phenomenal year for this car. Fingers crossed. Hopefully the Supra follows suit. Hopefully this follows suit because it's going to get some ridiculously cool livery on it too. We're going to have some crazy cars in here. For now, thank you so much for watching. If you do want to see how this goes, if you want to see what happens with the Supra, and of course, the decals that are going on this, well, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share away, and I will see you in the next video. Simon out.